guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Jam. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. So today is my 1 year YouTube anniversary. And it's crazy, you guys. It has been such a long journey with makeup. Honestly, I've been doing makeup since I was in probably high school. I've always known how to do my brows and everything. But this past year on YouTube and just showing people what I do to achieve my makeup looks has been so fulfilling. I would say it's been fulfilling. It's like my life journey. It has made me feel so good to just have people always say that they like my makeup and everything. So thank you to all of my supporters, everybody that likes, everybody that comments, everybody that subscribes, everybody that shares my links. Everything counts. I swear it does. Deep breaths, don't get emotional. But in this video, I am going to be reviewing the eyeshadow primers from Juvias Place. I keep wanting to call this the eyeshadow primer potion because that's the only thing I've been using from Urban Decay. But we're going to review these today and see what the tea is about because I've been seeing these everywhere. So I definitely wanted to try something new and switch it up because, you know, it's been a year. Let's try some new stuff. Also, I did do a one-on-one with TheLaurenSimone. She is a Chicago celebrity makeup artist. I did a one-on-one with her and she taught me how to do makeup on clients because I have been taking clients, but I wanted to invest in my craft and just learn new things and techniques from somebody who is a paid professional. So that definitely did help me out in today's makeup look. So if you would like to see how I achieved this look, definitely stay tuned. Okay guys, so we're just gonna jump into this video and I'm gonna be starting with the new Juvias Place primers, eyeshadow primers, and I got all three. So I got color 1, 2, and 3, and number 1 is a white, number 2 is like a medium shade, and then number 3 is like the darkest shade. So right now it only does come in 3 shades because it is fairly new, but I have been hearing good things, so let's go ahead and try it out. I'm gonna be using shade 2 since I'm not doing a bold eyeshadow look. So let's go ahead and open that. And this is how it looks. And I heard that you definitely want to make sure you shake it up before, and then it is on the more watery side, so don't just try to put it on your eye because it's gonna go everywhere. So for me, I'm gonna put it on my palette and I'm just gonna put like a little bit, and this is it right here. Just gonna put a little bit because I'm not really sure how much I need. I've been working with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion for so long. This is literally the second product I'll ever use for my eyes. So I definitely want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. I'm just going to put this on like a little brush and tap that in. Okay. I believe less is definitely going to be more. I did not even need that much at all, but I'm still gonna go ahead and press that in and make sure it's like blending. And honestly, it kind of looks like my concealer, so this is a really good shade for me. So the eyeshadow I'm going to be using is the Main Squeeze palette from ColourPop, and it is just like some reds and some pinks and everything. Today is my YouTube anniversary, so I am feeling kind of festive, kind of spicy, like, ooh girl, you did that, okay? So I definitely wanted to bring a little bit more red, a little bit more glitter into today's look. So I'm gonna be starting off with the shade Seed Money, and this is my favorite BH Cosmetics brush. It's like super fluffy and big, and it does cover a lot of area. Look at that color. Oh my god, my eyeshadow has never looked this pigmented without me like packing it on. So I'm already liking this Juvias Place primer. And I'm just gonna start buffing that out. And you guys, I did do a one-on-one. Let me talk to y'all. I feel like we never talk anymore. Let's talk. So I did do a one-on-one with a celebrity makeup artist, TheLaurenSimone, here in Chicago, and it went great. And I felt like it really taught me a lot about techniques and how to hold my hand when doing a client's face, so that way it's more, the things I'm doing are more precise and more pigmented and are properly applicated. So I recommend doing it one-on-one if you're getting into makeup. It can definitely teach you a bunch of things that you thought you knew, but you weren't really applying them correctly. And it'll also teach you how to do your time management when doing a client's face, so you're not working on them all day. Look at that. I am not mad at this at all. And next, I'm going to be using the color Red Bottoms, which is like this plum color. And I'm going to put that right underneath where I put the first shade. We're just going to kind of blend those together, add it to like a nice little transition. And with this eyeshadow, something that I did learn during my one-on-one is the easier way to blend shadow is just drag it downward instead of doing like that swiping motion. It's easier to just kind of pat and drag this, so that way you're not just trying to sit there and buff it out all day. I am not mad at this primer. Yeah, I'm not mad at this primer at all. It's giving. Sis is giving what she's supposed to give. Sis is giving. Do you see sis? Sis is giving. Okay, come on, YouTube anniversary. And of course, I always go back in with the first shade and then just kind of go over what I just put down. So I go over that same little transition shade just to make sure. And this is when I swipe, so that way I can like blend that color that's right here. I love this, like this primer. I'm not going back to the Urban Decay. Like you guys know, I've been trying to get rid of that for the longest, but it seems like I'm not using it as fast as I thought I was. But once it's gone, we're gonna go to Juvias Place, okay? I'm really liking this. It looks bomb, y'all. Oh my God. So I'm gonna be cutting my crease with the rest of that primer. And I learned another thing from like a random YouTuber. She told me to use a flatter brush, you know, like something thinner, instead of like a gigantic concealer brush, and that way you can cut your crease way more sharp and faster. Because look at that. And I'm only gonna do it halfway because I'm only doing like a half cut crease today. Look at that. That was so simple. Usually I'm sitting here for like a little minute. I'm usually sitting here for a little minute. And look how easy it's like blending out. Come on, Juvias Place. Made my life so much easier. Like for real, for real. So now I'm gonna be using the color Juicy Fruit. And it's a gold, and I'm just gonna be putting that right on top of that primer. And this look is inspired by a YouTuber and Instagram makeup artist. I believe she lives in Oklahoma. Her name is, I know her name is Brittany, but I'm not sure how to pronounce her channel's name, so I am definitely going to shout her out. Her name is My Can Beauty, I believe. If I'm getting that wrong, I'm gonna just tag it, but I saw this look a long time ago, and I just knew like I wanted to do this sooner or later. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that today. Just like that, and that's just gonna provide like a little color onto the lid, and it's just not that primer right there. I am gonna be using some glitter today, and I got this from Amazon. I'm gonna be mixing this little pink shade with red. So I'm gonna be using red and pink. Well, it's like a mauve pink. It's not like a pink. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the pink inside of the red top, and just a little bit, because we're only using like a little amount, and I kind of want it to be a little bit more red than pink. So literally this is how much I put in the top. Like, it's not even a lot. So first I'm gonna get my glue, and what I started doing was I started getting a brush and then just kind of coating the tip of my brush with the glue, and then just putting it exactly where I want my glitter to go. And I do one eye at a time because this glue dries very fast. And then I'm just gonna take that same side of the brush and just stick that glitter right on there. And just pat it right on my eye. And I'm just kind of brushing my brush across this glitter just so that it can disperse a little bit more. But honestly, it looks great. Like, it's like that little accent of color. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the other eye. Just like that. Oh, it's looking so cute and festive, y'all. Oh my God. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my lids back on my glitters. So just in case I'm over here really turning up, don't have to flip over. So of course you're gonna go back into that palette and put red bottoms on the edge of your concealer, just so you can't see where it starts and where it ends at. And make sure you like buff it out. Just like that. I also go like above just to make sure it's blending. Go back into that other brush and just buff everything out. It should be looking like this. I'm really liking this. I'm liking the color combo. Like, it looks really good. So next, of course, we're going to be priming our face with the NYX Marshmallow Primer. And I just kind of put this on the back of my hand. I think with this, I gotta start like shaking it up. It's a little watery right now. Put this on the back of my hand. And I take a brush and I just tap it in. Also, doing my one-on-one, I learned that you're supposed to be pressing a product into your skin. For some reason, I was like pressing and like dragging it, which is not correct. You want to make sure you really put like emphasis on the press. It's not necessary for you to drag it, which I knew, but I thought that's what I was doing, but apparently I wasn't. So it's always good to know. we're gonna be using the Milani foundation in the color 7 and 9. I like to mix these two because it gives me the perfect foundation shade. So I use 1 pump of 9 and then 1.5 pumps of 7 because I'm more sand than I am tan, if that makes sense. I'm just going to be pressing that into the skin like so. With this hair, I just chopped it. This was like a longer wig that I did with that Amazon video that I was talking about on here. This is that same wig, and all I did was cut it. Because it was looking a little greasy. Like, no matter how much I washed it, it'll always just look a little piecey and greasy. So I just cut it and was like, well, if it falls apart later, I already did it for like 2 or 3 styles. So it was worth it. Especially since I had it since like, what, November-ish? Probably longer than that, honestly. I can't even remember. Of course, you're going to be using a smaller brush. This is the brush I use the primer with. And I just kind of get my forehead. So now that I have on my foundation, I'm going to be concealing with the Tarte Shape Tip Concealer. And I started using a brush to put my concealer on. Because when I was using the wand, it just was giving me too much concealer. Like, way too much concealer. And then once I would blend it out, it would create creases because it was too much product. So now I just use this little brush from BH Cosmetics. And it gets right in there because I'm gonna blend it out with a beauty blender, but to initially put it on, I definitely needed this brush. Like, look how little I use compared to what I usually do. It's usually just like a whole little thick line and I gotta blend it all out. So it kind of defeated the purpose of me waiting for it to dry. So for this part, I do use the wand just so I can make sure my nose is like perfect with that little line. But same method, you just sit here and wait. Like, look at the coverage that this concealer gave me. Usually when I use concealer, it's just really everywhere. It's uncontrolled because I was using too much product. And also, I learned how to eliminate those eye creases. I was never looking up to blend under my eyes, which is what you would do with a client. So that definitely made a lot of sense when I went to my one-on-one. And then to contour, I'm going to be using the color Toast and the LA Girl Pro concealer per usual. And I'm going to be using a brush to blend that out. Like that. And of course, I'm going to be using my foundation brush to just go over those edges because you don't want to see where your makeup starts and finishes. And then for my nose contour, I do those 2 lines, and then whatever is left on the brush, I do this little connector part of my nose. It's coming out so good. I look very glowy right now. I haven't set my makeup yet, so don't mind that. So I'm gonna set my concealer with the e.l.f. concealer palette, and I'm just gonna use that same brush and use the darkest shade in the kit and just kind of go over where I contoured. And then for under my eyes, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Oh yeah, I did forget that I contoured right here. I'm just gonna dust a little bit of my powder right there underneath the chin area and just drag it down a bit. I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild highlight in the color Golden Flower Crown, and I'm just gonna put that right here, under my brows, on the bridge of my nose just a little bit, and on the tip of my nose. Definitely be cautious of when you do your lip highlight right here, because if you put it too close to your lip line, it can just look like your lip is sweating. So I typically do that after I do like my lips and everything, because just to make sure it's not going to be too much. And we're going to switch it up, y'all. We're going to be using blush today. I got some blush from Milani. I got 3 of them, and this one is in the color Tea Rose. I'm just going to be using a large brush and just going into that. I'm just kind of dabbing that right there, right above where I contoured. Very little. Just like that, just to add a little bit more warmth back into my face. And lastly, we are going to be spraying our beauty blender. So you take your beauty blender and you just spray it. And then you're just gonna tap that into the skin. So that way you're not getting too much product all over your face. You're not all wet, for one. You're not all wet. Because honestly, that's how it is. So now I'm just going to be using a little mascara. Just like a little bit. Just to coat my lashes. I'm going to be just using a brush and going in with the color Seed Money. And just kind of hitting underneath my eyes. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of make sure that it's connecting with the sides. So it's not like that little gap that's right here. Be cautious of that gap, y'all. Because you'll think that you outside and you popping. You're not. And then I always like to go back into my eyeshadow brush and just kind of buff the edges out. So I'm going to be using the color BFF3 in the ColourPop liner. And I also learned from my 101 that it's better to use a brush to apply liquid lipsticks. So I'm just gonna apply some of this on the back of my hand, like so. Take my brush and just first swipe it on and then like blend it. Just like that. And then I am going to be going in with my favorite gloss by Milani, and this is the Milani in the color Soft Rose. I love this gloss. Juvias put me on. And I'm gonna use that same brush and just kind of tap it onto my lips. I honestly don't like gloss that much, so I just like my lips to look a little shiny. And of course you want to clean up the edges. And this is just the concealer brush. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my lashes on and get a little bit more glammed up, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. Something cute and shiny to celebrate my 1 year on YouTube. And I definitely would say the Juvias Place eyeshadow primers, 10 out of 10. Like, they definitely just changed my life. They went on really smooth. They made my eyeshadows more pigmented, as you can see. It did not take a lot of work to achieve this pigment. I didn't have to pack on a lot of color. So I definitely did like those. I got every shade, and the one that I used was shade 2. So yeah. And also I did enjoy my 101. You can definitely see every technique that Lauren taught me in this video. Like, not every single one was shown just because I was doing it on a client when I did the 101, but it definitely paid off. I would definitely say, if you're trying to become a makeup artist, definitely do a 101 with your favorite makeup artist. Like, you're just gonna have to invest in your craft. But if you guys did like this look, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.